Hey you guys, so I wanted to come on here and today's episode is going to be about spending intentional time with God. And I want to talk to you guys about this because it's very special to me. And the reason I say that is, a lot of times when I bring this up, this what we're going to be talking about, when I bring it up to people, I hear like the same thing and they're like, I never thought to do that. And so I'm like, you know what? Why don't I come on here and talk about it? Because I think it would be beneficial for a lot of you. So, first and foremost, I truly believe that it is important to set aside intentional time for the Lord. And what I mean by this is, you know, we can get so busy in life and being moms and being wives and whatever it may be, school, work, all these things. And not only that, you guys, but we can be so distracted by the things of the world. We can be so distracted by social media and everything else. And we have to ask ourselves, who is our God? And I just spoke about this in a little short film that I did on my YouTube. um, we have to ask ourselves, who is our God? Who is it that like, what is it that we're spending the most of our time on? Because for a lot of us, it's social media. Like, I know that I'm guilty of that as well. And, we have to determine what's more important. And this is hard and this can take a while. For me, recently, I realized social media is a huge distraction for me. It's the first thing I want to open up when I wake up. It's the first thing, I look at before I go to sleep. It's it's a distraction for me. And so me personally, what I did for myself is I chose to delete my Instagrams, and I'm not telling you have to do this. This is what I did. I deleted my Instagrams. I did keep one, my business one, and I deleted my Facebook app. I have like a lot of family on Facebook, so excuse me. I kept my Facebook, but I deleted the app off of my phone because it was a distraction. So what I did was I kept it on my laptop so that way I can log in periodically because me personally, I can't stay on my laptop like all day long and scroll or do whatever. So I kept it on my laptop so that way I can, get on it here and there, but I'm not letting it consume my day where I'm not being productive throughout the day or I'm not spending time with the Lord. So I did that. And then I also, this takes discipline, right? I also did a screen time on my phone. So from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., all my apps, other than the Bible app, are locked. So I can't open like YouTube or anything like that, because that needs to be, for me, a set time with the Lord, my prayer and getting into the Word. And this is just something that I've chosen to do for myself because I do want um, to be closer to the Lord. I do want to seek Him more. I do want to get in my Word more. So, me personally, I'm someone who's easily distracted. I am very easily distracted. Like, I'm talking like I could be having a conversation with you and I'm like, squirrel. So, this is something that I chose to do for myself that I felt like would help me. And just really just having discipline in that. Because like I said, it was just consuming my life. Like, I wasn't getting anything done, wasn't spending no time with the Lord, wasn't getting my homework done. I was on it more than I was spending with my kids, so it was just becoming a problem. So that's what I did. Now, that is intentional, right? But there's another intentional thing that I feel is so special and so intimate, and that is like I said, setting aside time for the Lord. And, for me, for example, I like to make coffee for me and the Lord, and I will make 2 cups, because in that I'm acknowledging and setting a table for Him, and setting just the atmosphere, the space for Him, and just inviting Him in. Lord, I want to sit here with you. I want to sit in your presence. I want to have this coffee with you. I want to talk to you. And I do feel like this is pleasing to Him. I really do. In James chapter 4, verse 8, it says that if we draw near to God, He will draw near to us. If, it says in the Bible that if we seek Him, we will find Him, so a lot of times, and it's not just that, it's also reading our Bible. Like, that is a huge one. But this alone time is like time where you can pour out your heart. It's a time where you can even just be still in His presence and allow Him to speak to you. And, you guys, if we want to be best friends with someone, right, in like the world, if we want to be best friends with somebody or build a relationship with someone, how do we do that? Like, how do we build relationships with people? We set aside time for them. We hang out with them. We get to know them. We get to know what they're like, what their character is like. And it's the same way with the Lord. How do we become best friends with somebody we don't know? How do we get to know his character if we don't even spend the time to sit and read His word, or sit in His presence and conversate with Him? And, like, He's our Father, He's our God. A lot of times we can sit and say, Lord, I love you more than anything in this world. But there comes a point where we have to be honest with ourselves. Are we really acting like that? Like, are we really follow, do our actions say that? Are we putting aside time for the Lord? Or, do we have to be honest with ourselves and say, you know what? Like, a lot of times we put the Lord on the back burner. We get everything else done. We go through our social media feed, we go through everything else, and then we give the Lord our time. And then we read the word. And then we do a quick little checklist. Oh, I prayed for the day, so I'm good. And you guys, like, we have to get out of that, because we need to love the Lord with all of our heart. And He needs to come first before anything. And so we do have to be intentional with this. We do have to be disciplined with this. And, as time goes on, spending time with God, it it becomes a desire. Like, for me, instead of getting a babysitter to go out with my friends or do anything like that, I would literally get a babysitter just because I wanted to spend alone time with God. And I would go on these long drives. I would go and get us both a Starbucks drink, or get us, a smoothie, both. I would always buy 2 of them. And I would set this place, set the atmosphere for me and the Lord to have a date together and have, time together. And it just, I can't explain it, but when you do it, you'll know. It's just a beautiful feeling to just sit there knowing that you're intentionally putting aside time to sit with your Father. And, I had kind of like got so many things were going on and stuff. So I hadn't done it in like a while. And I just remember feeling like, I miss you, Lord. Like, I miss you and I want to spend time with you. And I really just want to take this drive with you. And that's how it is. You become so in love with the Lord and who He really is because you're getting to know Him. And it's just like your best friend, it's just like your husband, that you had to spend time with and get to know and you fell in love with, and all the things. That's how it is. You fall in love with the Lord, and then you desire this time. And then when time goes by and you guys haven't hung out and had that alone time, you're like, I miss you. I want to spend some time with you. I miss you. And I feel like that's so important to have that relationship, because we have to be rooted in it. We're in a time right now where people are leaving Jesus because someone in the church hurt them. And I think a lot of us have been there. I know I've been there. But when I was there, I didn't have a relationship with the Lord, like a real relationship, because there's a difference. You can know of God and not know God. You get what I'm saying? So, back then I may have known of God, but I didn't know God. And now I'm in a relationship with Him where I've spent time in His presence, where I've, you know, um had intimate time with Him, where now I'm in love with Him. And so, it's just like, if somebody tells you something about your spouse that's not true, you're going to say, no, that's not true, because I know Noel. I know so and so. They're not like that. And it's the same way with the Lord. Nobody can tear you from that relationship when you know your Father and you know His character. So when someone hurts you in the church, you're not leaving Jesus because of it, because you know Him and you know that's not His character and you know that's not from Him. A lot of times we are basing our relationship with God off of humans, off of people who are natural born sinners who are going to mess up. And we can't do that. We can't do that. We have to be rooted in our relationship with Him. And, it's sad. Like, when you think about it, it's very sad, because like, I wonder how God feels when one of His children leaves Him because someone hurt them. And so now they're like, oh, Christians, Christians are like this. But then Jesus is like, but that wasn't me. I didn't cause that person to say that. I didn't cause that person to do that. That's not me. And I, like, sometimes that makes me feel so bad for the Lord. Like, man, here He's getting blamed for things that He didn't do. A human did that. He didn't do that. He did not cause that person to betray you. So now, because someone who is a human and a Christian betrayed you, now you're walking out on the Lord. And He's like, I didn't do that to you, daughter. That wasn't me. Don't leave me for what they did, what they chose to do out of their flesh. You get what I'm saying? How would you feel if someone you loved so dearly with all of your heart and you would do anything for them? How would you feel if they completely walked away from you because of what someone else did to them? It's not fair. It's not fair. And I think we need to talk about it more because it's happening left and right. People leaving the church. You're not just, people leaving Jesus. You're not just, you're leaving your father who never intended for you to be hurt like that. And that's why our faith, our trust cannot be rooted in people. It needs to be rooted in who we know God is, into who we know, how we know his character is. Because his character is good. And sometimes we act really raggedy out here. And I'm speaking for myself too. As a Christian, we can act very raggedy and we can represent him very badly. And it's not his fault. So I just want to encourage you guys, spend that time with the Lord. Have coffee with him. Go on a walk with him. Go on a drive with him. And it's even, verbally express it. There's time like I will verbally express it like, Lord, can you please come on this drive with me? Like, I need you to come for a drive with me because I want to talk to you and I want to hang out with you and I want to just let some things off my chest. Lord, I'm going to make this cup of coffee for us and I want us to sit down and have coffee together and just enjoy his presence. And I'm telling you, you guys, I'm telling you, you will fall so in love with who God is when you get to know him and spend intentional time and spend time in his word. That when you're not, you'll notice the difference in how your life is going, like how your day is going. You just miss him. So I just wanted to encourage you guys with that. I love you guys. I'll be back next week with another video, and I hope this was helpful. And I pray that your coffee with Jesus is just great, and just a blessing to you. So I'll talk to you guys later.